The scheme is being run by local youngsters known as a Knowsley Youth Cabinet. They're selling badges at £1 a piece that look like a no entry road sign with an eye through the middle. The money will go towards the Adam Foundation, set up in memory of stabbing victim Adam Ellison, who was murdered at the age of 29. April Beedman is the designer of the badge.
It's like a horrible thing to talk about, but it does need to be said. I don't think many people realise, like they'll hear it on the news, they'll hear people talking about it, but I don't think many people take it in, how the tragedy it's causing for families, to friends, to schools. So hopefully people see this logo, people will take part in the campaign and awareness will be spread.
After only a year in office, Wirral Council leader Pat Hackett is to step down. He's so far declined to give reasons for his sudden departure. Mr Hackett was first elected as a councillor in 1994 and, reflecting on his time in politics, he said it had been a pleasure and a privilege to serve Wirral. Earlier today, the cruise liner, the Scarlet Lady, docked into Pier Head. She's the first ship in Virgin's new luxury fleet with an impressive 78 suites on board. The liner even has a tattoo parlour. That's if you can afford the basic cabin rate of £1,500 for 5 days. The liner will set sail in April this year. Incidents of racial abuse in the Premier League are said to be affecting some of Merseyside's youngest football players. Reports of racist abuse in children's football have reportedly risen in recent months. Anti-racism charity Kick It Out says the answer lies with the parents. Our reporter Sophie Drew has more.
Recently, the conversation around racial abuse has been at the forefront of Premier League football. With an audience that spans all ages, the influence that this racism is having on the younger generation continues to be a cause for concern. Tejan Hutton from the anti-racism charity Kick It Out has experienced it firsthand.
I can say from a personal perspective, I've been called numerous racial slurs by the time I was 12 years old. So it's something that I've experienced from a personal standpoint and whilst working at Kick It Out. It's reports that we get literally every other week. There's a major lack of education, and it has been since the inception of football in this country, where adults haven't been educated on the effects of racially abusing somebody else. And as a result, what you have is a lingering stench of racial abuse that's continued over the period of time. And then what happens is that ideology of racially abusing somebody else that is deemed okay, that trickles down from generation to generation to generation. And so what you're finding is a lot of young players as young as 10, 12, 11 years old are surrounded by that particular mindset.
This is Sophie Drew for Liverpool Life.
Residents in Greasby are protesting over Wirral Council's plans to build on Greenbelt land. The proposal for the new build is in the consultation phase. Phil Simpson is leading the campaign against the plans.
Issues and options documents. There are two big proposals to build on Greenbelt. We're saying that there is no need to build the houses on Greenbelt. Any houses that we need can all be covered on brownfield sites. Indeed, the council themselves are saying that it's a brownfield first approach. Well, that sounds good until you realise that at this moment in time, as we stand here today, they have only found enough brownfield sites for 9,250 homes, which means 2,500 has got to be found.
The council says the new homes are needed because of expected population growth. Fans of the basketball legend Kobe Bryant have been commemorating the life of the star a month after he died in a helicopter crash. The event, run by local media company Toxteth TV, celebrated the impact Bryant had on future basketball generations. David Hargreaves is one of the organisers of the event.
Celebrate his life, not focus too much on the death, obviously, but just his influence, and his the Mamba mentality, what that means. And if someone's inspired from it today, that's great. The idea of it is, look at the strength of his mind, how he was so resilient, such a leader in the community of the world community, as in basketball's popular globally. So, we've got a small basketball community in Liverpool and Merseyside, so for us to come together and share some moments is nice.
Local animal rights activist Team Tino touched the streets over the weekend to tell the public of the harm humans can apparently cause to many species. Though many scientists consider meat eating to be part of a healthy diet, the group insists a diet free of meat products is far more beneficial to individuals and also the planet. Brian Pritchard is a member of the group and appears at a number of protests across Merseyside.
Just about every process, everything we do in life, we some way interact or affect animals. We don't need to do that, so we want to bring it to as many people's attention just how much of a horror show life is for many animals, or most animals on the earth.
A new escape room was opened on Crampton Street. The aim of the game is to escape as quickly as possible from the various rooms. Robert Robertson has more.
The latest attraction to hit Liverpool requires skill, patience and nerve. Escape rooms are quickly becoming a go-to place for team-building exercises and birthday parties. Owner Samir Patel believes the place will be a hit.
Well, basically, it's great fun for all the family. If you can come as a couple, you can come as a group of friends. If you want, children can enjoy it as well. And it's just something different, basically. How many times can people go to bowling? A lot of outdoor activities due to the weather, they can't do it. This is something that can be done indoors. It's great fun for anybody and everybody, really.
And now here's Ewan with the sports news. Ewan.
Thanks, Adam. Liverpool moved to within 4 wins of the Premier League title last night as they came from behind against West Ham United to win 3-2. In an unusually lacklustre display from the Reds at Anfield, Liverpool found themselves 2-1 down with 20 minutes to go. They piled on the pressure and eventually goals from Mo Salah and Sadio Mane secured yet another win. Manager Jurgen Klopp has said the team are already looking forward to the next game.
We are really just in the situation and want to recover and want to prepare the next one, because the next opponent is really waiting and wants to fight us, the whole stadium at Watford will go for us. It's completely normal. There will be a special atmosphere and we have to be 100% ready.
Elsewhere in the Premier League, Everton suffered defeat against Arsenal, losing 3-2 at the Emirates. The Toffees took the lead inside the first minute with a wonderful acrobatic effort from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but sloppy defending and wasted chances meant Everton fell to defeat. Boss Carlo Ancelotti believes improvements are needed.
To be good, you have to attack well, and we did, and you have to defend well, and we didn't. So I cannot be satisfied for this.
It wasn't all bad for Everton, however, as Andre Gomes made his return to the first team after he broke his leg against Tottenham in early November. The Portuguese midfielder was a key player for Everton early on in the season. In the women's football, both Everton and Liverpool were beaten this weekend. Liverpool's 4-2 defeat against West Ham saw them drop to the bottom of the table, and relegation now looks almost unavoidable for the Reds. Everton lost 3-2 to Manchester United, but more worryingly for them, it's been announced that defender Gabby George has suffered an ACL injury, which will keep her out for at least a month. And finally, it was a bad weekend for St Helens rugby team, who lost the World Club Challenge final against the Sydney Roosters. The Roosters have now won the tournament for a record 5th time. That's all the sport. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Ewan. And finally this afternoon, today would have been George Harrison's 77th birthday. Harrison died of lung cancer back in 2001, and in memory of the Beatles legend, a new memorial woodland is set to open in South Liverpool, close to where George grew up. That's all for now. The time is 2:10. Tune in for more news at 3.